I do hate to say this, but these are a few of my favorite things. So it's January. Here are the things that I loved last year that I'm going to be repurchasing or have already repurchased, or just things and experiences that improved my overall quality of life. I'm gonna start with some skincare. Also, I got my hair cut yesterday, and yesterday I felt very cute about it. Today, I feel a little bit like Lord Farquaad, so I don't want to talk about it. My first and most favorite product that I've used this year is this, the Ordinary Azelaic Acid Suspension. It's a brightening cream sort of thing. I've repurchased this like 3 or 4 times, and it has actually visibly improved like the overall look and texture of my skin. I've had severe acne for years and years and years. I just finished my 2nd round of Accutane, and I used this even while I was on Accutane, and it was gentle enough that it didn't like cause any inflammation, irritation, and I think it kind of like helped the overall changes that my skin was experiencing. So yeah. Another thing I have loved on Accutane, because my thing is like, okay, yeah, I know Accutane's doing a lot of the work, but like what can I also do as my skin is like healing to make sure that the new skin that it's generating is better? I don't know anything about anything, so ignore those words. Anyways, it's this from Paula's Choice. Skin Perfecting 2% BHA Liquid Exfoliant. Wow. I will say I've been using this for over a year now, and I do think that the effects have kind of wore a bit since I started using it, because the first several weeks that I used it, I was like, oh my god, I'm beautiful now. And now I don't feel like it's as drastic of a thing, but I don't think I've been using it as consistently as I should have been. I also don't love the cleanser that I have right now, so if you have any cleanser recommendations, let me know, because that could be slowing things down. Other skincare. I found this at the end of the year. This is the Dieu Instant Angel Moisturizer. My skin was getting so dry as I was finishing up Accutane, and then the weather was changing, and it was just, I couldn't put anything on my face because my skin was peeling so bad, and this saved me. The packaging roped me in for sure, but it just feels expensive, is very moisturizing, and worth every penny. Last for skincare, moving into makeup, is the e.l.f. Invisible Sunscreen. A lot of people say you can use it as a primer, which I did do sometimes. It just feels really nice. And then I love the Woe Glow Sun Touchable, like tinted moisturizer kind of thing, or tinted sunscreen. The first time I used this, I was like, oh my god, it is so greasy. But then I just realized I wasn't used to my skin actually being moisturized. And then as we move into makeup, I haven't worn foundation pretty much at all over the past year. It's always just some combination of things and like concealers and stuff, but not like a foundation. So some combination of these sunscreen type things with this Rescue Balm, which is probably my number one. Like it's between these two for like favorite products of the year. I have repurchased this from Target pickup 5 or 6 times. You only need a tiny dot. It does a really, really good job of correcting matching skin tone. I usually put it on my cheeks where I have a lot of hyperpigmentation. Sometimes I'll do it under my eyes if I don't want to do concealer, because it kind of counters like the purple. It's amazing. I love it. And then in the summer, I would also use this Lumi Glotion, which I like a lot. For more coverage, I'll use the Glossier concealers. I was just using shade medium 1, and then I recently picked up light 1 because obviously and then my favorite makeup product since the 6th grade has always been blush. And this is my favorite blush of the year. This is the Pixie On the Glow blush. Surprisingly, the shade that I like is Juicy. To me, it's the most natural flush. And it always makes me feel cute. And that's pretty much it. Fashion-wise, I had a really hard time thinking about like what were the things that I loved this year. It's all just like experimenting for me. I will say this was like the year of skirts for me. I'm sorry, I loved a white skirt. I do. I have no problem with a white skirt. I think it's cool. I started wearing low-rise jeans this year. Kind of fun. I think I tapped into my like femininity a little bit more this year as well. Overalls were huge for me. And I just got the pair of overalls that I think I love. I've tried like 3 different pairs from Nuuly, and I think I'm going to finally purchase some. I have 1 pair of overalls, but they're brown. I need like a denim pair. And then drop waist stuff I loved this year. I rented a lot of drop waist things. I worked at a boutique for a short period of time, and we got in a lot of drop waist stuff that was very cute. Overall, I would say my fashion favorite this year was Nuuly. I placed my order for this month a few days ago, and then I was looking through my history and I was like, oh, I actually did it basically all of 2024. I did work with Nuuly in Club Nuuly, so I had some of my months paid for through my work through that. My roommate has been using Nuuly for years. I'm like, she started it. She made it cool. And I've really loved doing it. I do think that it's helped me to shop a little bit less, but I'm determined to shop even less next year or this year. Speaking of websites and services that I loved, Substack was a new venture for me this year. It's been really fun to read and really fun to post. I hit 99 subscribers today, which is really cool. And it's like, it makes my Tumblr kid heart very happy. And then before I get into books, I will say that my library card is one of my favorite things this year. The library that I joined is not like the biggest library system in my area, but I just really like this library and I like the people that work at it. And so yeah, they partner with Libby and the library itself has an app. You can literally check out books on your phone in the library. It's wild. Or maybe that's normal, I don't know. But it's definitely helped me to read a lot more. Because listen, I don't love every single book I read. I don't want to buy a book every single time I read a book. But out of all the books I read, here are my favorites that I do want to buy. It's a lot of memoirs. Actually, none of my favorite books are fictional. I think my absolute most favorite book that I read this year was Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Little Weirds by Jenny Slate, so good. I'm really excited to read her next book. I have it. I'm Glad My Mom Died, Jeanette McCurdy. I listened to the audiobook of that. It was amazing. The Third Gilmore Girl, I also listened to the audiobook. It's narrated by Kelly Bishop and it was so good. Just kidding, I do have a fiction book. This one's called Worry. I can't remember the author's name and I can't believe I didn't write it down, but I'm gonna put it right here for you to see. This was a really fun book. It's about like two sisters that live in New York. They sell clothes to kind of like make money. It's just very chaotic. The sister dynamic is fun. I loved it. I also wouldn't have known it existed if not for my library. Everything I Know About Love by Bell Hooks changed my life. And of course, Mary Oliver Devotions. I have 2 copies of this book now. It's amazing. So those are my books. Now for shows, movies, YouTube. Oh yeah, I put down my YouTube favorites. Favorite TV shows. Yellow Jackets. I'm so ready for another season. I love like a flashback show. I love like, it was like coming of age-ish, but not really, but like kind of because they're high schoolers. Oh my god, it was amazing. Shrinking, which I just watched the season 2 finale a few days ago. I'm really excited for season 3. Barry, I finally watched. People have been telling me to watch Barry forever, and it was really fun because the acting teacher reminds me a lot of my acting teacher, except my acting teacher is like a lot nicer and like a very kind, wonderful human. But yeah, 12 out of 10. Favorite movie I watched this year? It's between, I keep saying this year, last year. Wicked, I have seen 3 times. I can't stop thinking about it. I want to watch it again. I want to watch it forever. I cannot wait for part 2. His 3 Daughters, which is on Netflix. I love familial sister dynamics. It reminded me, it felt like a play. The acting was incredible. It's really sad. It's really sad, but so good. Speaking of sad and so good, I got to see a reading of Night Mother, which is a play, and it's a 2-person play between a mother and a daughter. Ooh, I did not read about it before I went to the reading, and my system was shocked, but it was incredible. My favorite YouTubers of the year, Chloe Philopoulos has gotta be my number one, and definitely kind of like was the motivation I needed to like start YouTube, because I was like, okay, this girl is my age, she's freelancing, she's doing the thing, she's really cool and unique, and I just love watching her videos because they're also informative about like the fashion styling world in a very grounded and realistic way, which I appreciate because I feel like I'm in my own sort of niche world. Like I work in entertainment, but not in like the fabulous flashy entertainment industry way. Like I'm trying my best. Susie Lola is another fashion girly that I love who I found through Chloe. Sally Dar Griffin, who recently moved to Atlanta, so we should be friends. I don't know why we're not. Sorry, no, that's weird. Oh, and then a TV show I forgot, Dancing with the Stars. Me and my friend Gabby and Caroline watch Dancing with the Stars just about every week. Spaghetti with the stars, if you will. And it was so much fun, and it was just really fun to like establish a routine with people, and I'm gonna see if I can rope them into doing that with The Bachelor at the end of the month. Or The Bachelorette. No, it's The Bachelor. Podcasts and music. Podcasts I loved/love. Women Talking About Murder. Hilarious. It's over, so I've listened to every episode, but I hope that they will do more. Oh, my memory card filled up. Trying not to be upset about it. Where was I? Oh yeah, podcast. Women Talking About Murder. My mom told me about this podcast. It's very funny. It's like an improv comedy fake murder mystery show. A lot of funny lady cameos and funny men, but I was more impressed by the funny ladies. It's over, and I've listened to every episode. And it was very good, but you should check it out. Wiser Than Me with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I love this podcast. I listened to it this morning. It is like a memoir because she interviews older ladies and then she talks to her mom about the interviews after the show. It's like listening to a hug. Good Christian fun. Gilmore Guys has been my favorite podcast for many years, and I found myself re-listening to episodes of Gilmore Guys, and I was like, oh my god, you gotta find a new podcast. So then I realized that Kevin had Good Christian Fun, and as a deconstructing Christian myself, I decided to listen to that. Very funny, a lot of laughs. Favorite albums? There's a lot. Slump by Improvement Movement. Everything Matters, Everything's Fire by Lunar Vacation. I got to write a review about that album, and now I love it. This Is How Tomorrow Moves by Biba Doobie. Short and sweet, Sabrina Carpenter, obviously. Live from Mother Earth by Annika Bennett. Deeper Well, Casey Musgraves. Cowboy Carter, Beyonce. Older, Lizzie McAlpine. These were my most listened to albums this year. And then last thing are my favorite experiences from 2024. I joke and I say that 2024 was a terrible year, and it was not great at times. And it was also really wonderful at other times. So here are some of my favorite things I got to see and witness and experience live. I'll save my favorite for last. I got to see The Notebook, the musical, on Broadway, and it closed in December, so I got to see it like a month before it closed, and it was so good. Really, really grateful that I got to see it. I went to the Brat Tour. I did only get to see the last 45 minutes of the show, but 45 minutes is 45 minutes. I reviewed albums for both Mick Mayer and Clark Sound this year, and then I actually got to see them play a show together. And then Improvement Movement came on stage and played like a song too, and that was just a really cool like Atlanta music community experience. And I had some friends there with me. So yeah, that was a good night. I got to see Ben Folds with my parents and my brother, and it was my first time seeing Ben Folds live, and I love Ben Folds. I got to see the Japanese House open for Maggie Rogers. We didn't stay for all of Maggie Rogers, but Japanese House was amazing. We got to hear the Smiley Face song before it came out, and I got to see that with two of my best friends, and I got to hear Love You for a Long Time by Maggie Rogers live. Core memory. My brother's band, Better Yet, played with Penelope Road Band at Eddie's Attic, and it was my first time at Eddie's Attic, and that was really cool. I got to attend there's an organization here called Poetry is Pretentious that my group, Writer Circle, partnered with a few times this year, so I got to go and witness my friends like reading and sharing their work, and I also got to share my poetry for the first time. Well, not the first time, but the first time like that. So that was a big thing. And then my most favorite thing from 2024 was seeing Oh Mary on Broadway. I think about it every day. It's right up there with Wicked for me, and The Ordinary as a like acid solution. Seeing Cola Scola in a real life person in front of my eyes, I was slightly intoxicated while I saw this show as well, which I think is perfect for this show. I saw a video of Cole on TikTok after the curtain call of one of the performances. It might have been like the debut performance, I'm not sure. Talking about how having an idea is like a tumor. And just sort of like the vulnerability of being passionate about something that potentially nobody could care about. And then to watch it be the absolute triumph that it is. I'm not gonna cry thinking about it, but I could if I thought about it anymore. So yeah, I think those are all of my favorites from this year. From last year. Oh my god. Maybe I'll figure out what year it is soon. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like. Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, subscribe to Substack. I have a lot of platforms and a lot of places. You can find me everywhere. So see you next time.